This video describes one approach to inserting an adductor canal catheter in the context of total knee replacement surgery. We currently insert these preoperatively as this is most efficient in our institutional context. The patient is placed supine with the operative leg slightly abducted and externally rotated if it's comfortable for the patient to expose the anteromedial thigh. There is no need to flex their knee or to force the patient into an exaggerated frog leg position. Prepare the equipment. Here we will be using an Arrow Stimucath catheter through needle set. Start by opening up a sterile regional anesthesia block tray. A sterile probe cover is next. I favor this one by Safer Sonic. Add 10 ml of 2% lidocaine for local anesthetic skin infiltration to the tray. We will be using the Arrow Stimucath catheter through needle set. Deposit the contents carefully onto the sterile tray. Open up a packet of sterile ultrasound gel. Next, we have the items for securing and dressing the catheter: cyanoacrylate tissue glue, an EpiGuard catheter fixation device, and finally, 2 small Tegaderm dressings. A pack of 4 sterile towels for draping rounds out this phase of preparation. The needle insertion site should be a generous 1 to 2 hands breadths above the patella so that the eventual dressing remains well out of the way of the surgical drapes. Note that the catheter will be inserted in an oblique approach and along a short subcutaneous tunnel before entering the adductor canal in the mid-thigh. Disinfect the skin over the anteromedial thigh accordingly. Drape the patient's thigh to create a generous sterile working area. I start with an adhesive plastic drape from the regional anesthesia block tray set, which I stick to the lateral thigh. Complete the square draping with 3 sterile towels. I like to keep 1 folded towel aside to hold and protect the catheter. Next, prepare the catheter set for use. Remove the catheter from its packaging and untangle it if necessary. Pull it through the coil holder to the 15 cm mark. Remove the plastic cover from the catheter tip. Place the catheter within easy reach in the sterile field using the folded towel to hold and protect it. Remove the Toei introducer needle from its packaging and remove the stylet. You can choose to snap off the neurostimulation wire to minimize entanglement later on. Next, prepare the catheter hub, connector, and filter for use. Attach the filter to the proximal end of the short extension tubing. Flush the filter and tubing clear of air to prime it. Attach the connector hub to the distal end of the short extension tubing and flush that. Set the whole assembly safely aside. Draw out lidocaine for skin infiltration. And finally, take the long extension tubing and attach it to the Toei needle. I twist them together, but I do not fasten the lure lock so that it is easier to detach it later on. Apply the sterile probe cover to a linear ultrasound probe. Here I'm using a Safer Sonic probe cover which has a special adhesive area that will be applied to a probe which is clean and free of gel. The probe cover is applied as shown. Run a finger over the adhesive area to ensure good contact without any wrinkles or bubbles. Set the probe safely aside in the sterile field. If desired, draw up some non-active fluid such as 5% dextrose to use for hydrodissection. Use this to flush and prime the long extension tubing and toei needle. Place this into the sterile working field. Apply a small amount of gel to the patient's skin and perform a scout scan to identify the superficial femoral artery lying under the sartorius muscle in the adductor canal. My preference with regard to level of insertion along the canal is to enter the canal where the artery is more or less in the center of the muscle belly or sartorius. I then rotate the probe to bring the lateral edge more cranially and to obtain an oblique view of the canal. Note how the artery and muscle elongate in appearance. The lateral corner of sartorius muscle where it meets vastus medialis is noted. Perform local anesthetic infiltration at a skin insertion site 2 to 3 centimeters away from the edge of the probe and along the planned needle track. Insert the toei needle at a steep angle to pierce the skin, and then flatten out and advance it in plane towards the probe. Aim to pierce the lateral edge of sartorius muscle and to travel along the fascial plane separating sartorius and vastus medialis. Avoiding an intramuscular path minimizes the risk of catheter dislodgement from contraction of sartorius when the patient mobilizes. Inject fluid as needed to hydrodissect the plane and advance towards the superficial or 12 o'clock aspect of the artery. It's critical to pierce and get deep to the vastoadductor membrane. Angle the needle tip down to depress the artery while advancing. The curved bevel of the toei protects against arterial puncture. This video from another patient illustrates that there can be multiple compartments under sartorius and that the vastoadductor membrane is a thick multi-layered structure. When entering the adductor canal at a shallow angle above the artery, it's easy to misjudge if the needle tip has truly entered the canal. Rather than a more linear spread under sartorius, the correct pattern is one that clearly outlines the arterial walls. Here on closer inspection, we see a layer of fascia on top of the arterial wall. Advancing one layer deeper, signaled by a tactile pop, produces a deeper spread pattern that now clearly outlines the arterial wall. Another reliable sign is squashing of the artery during fluid injection. One technical tip, as shown in this example, is to pierce the vastoadductor membrane some distance away from the artery before flattening to advance to the superficial 12 o'clock aspect of the artery. Once again, hydrodissection can be used to confirm the position of the needle tip. Hydrolocation that compresses the artery and outlines its wall are once again reliable signs of optimal needle placement. Once satisfied, deliver the loading bolus of long-acting local anesthetic to establish the block and open up the space. Hold the needle steady and carefully lift the probe off, watching to ensure that rebound of the soft tissues does not drag the needle tip out of position. Detach the injection tubing from the needle hub, reach for the catheter, and insert it through the needle. The catheter will emerge from the needle when the 10 cm mark reaches the hub. Thread it slowly past this point until resistance is felt. Do not push past this as the catheter will be butting up against the walls of the adductor canal space. I recommend imaging the catheter tip before withdrawing the toei needle to confirm that it is an optimal location. It is not possible to advance the catheter any further once the needle and inner wire stylet have been removed. Jiggling the catheter in and out within the needle will reveal the location of the tip. Release the catheter from the coil holder. Hold the catheter with gentle forward pressure on the tip against the resistance that was felt earlier. Withdraw the needle carefully, again watching to ensure rebound of overlying soft tissues does not lift the catheter out of position. Once the needle is clear of the tissues, remove the catheter completely from the needle. The inner wire stylet will be automatically withdrawn from the catheter as this is done. Attach the connector hub to the end of the catheter. There is a diaphragm within the connector. Push the catheter end firmly to pop through this all the way. If not, injection through the catheter will be impossible. Squeeze the connector hub to close and lock the catheter in place. Test the connections, the patency of the catheter, and the location of the tip by injecting some local anesthetic or other fluid. Jiggling the catheter helps to locate the catheter tip. Perform a test injection through the entire catheter assembly. It's not unusual to see spread along the path of the catheter, but what we're looking for is periarterial spread, as we see here. The most important part of the procedure now follows, which is the fixation and dressing of the catheter. Ensure that the site is completely clean and dry. Being sparing with ultrasound gel at the start helps with this. Start by dripping tissue glue onto the exit site to create a plug to seal the edges of the hole and prevent backward leakage of local anesthetic and fluid that will otherwise compromise the dressing. Next, apply the EpiGuard fixation device as shown. Take care not to twist or kink the catheter and align the dressing so that the catheter runs cranially in an oblique direction towards the hip. Apply the first small tegaderm dressing to cover the EpiGuard. Apply a second small tegaderm to ensure it's completely covered, but keep the overall footprint of the dressing as small as possible. I strongly recommend securing the edges of the tegaderm dressing using strips of micropore paper tape. Make a window frame with the tape all around the edges of the tegaderm. Take care to ensure that the edges of the paper tape are completely flat on the skin and wrinkle-free. Finish by wiping the paper tape with an alcohol swab. The drying alcohol makes the paper tape adhere extremely well to the skin, and it will not come off even if it gets wet. Attach the connector hub, filter and injection tubing into the adhesive fixation device that is part of the catheter set. Fix the catheter hub to the lateral aspect of the lower abdomen in a location that will not cause discomfort when sitting. Ideally, this should also sit above the waistband of any clothing that they wear. Secure the remaining catheter length to the skin, either with multiple small tegaderms or, as in this case, with micropore tape and alcohol for maximum security. Finish by applying a large tegaderm dressing over the catheter hub.